What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Friday, March 1st, the first Friday of the month, and we are live here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. If you have not done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel, hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I go live or upload a new video. I would greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that's here so far in the chat. Shout out to everybody who is on Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, members of the channel, Discord, all of that good stuff. We have quite a few topics that we will be going over today. Actually, we don't have that many because all the topics that y'all see right there, that's in the title, that's literally all the topics right there. Literally. So we don't have that much to go over today. But let me go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far in the chat. We got DeMarcus Vaughn, Candy Loves to Talk TV, Hacksign KT, Tildall 12, Elder Bry, Kazim Fury, Wallow J, Black Spider, Troy Scott, Savion Draco Zero, Letitia, Spidey 007 Spidey 2, Janesta, Wallow J, Donna Seed, DSM Sinister, Travis Ware. Shout out to everybody that's here so far in the chat, and I'm sure there are going to be some more people coming in later on as we continue to go forward. So a little story time, y'all, before we get started. As y'all know, yesterday, Afro Elite, and shout out to Afro and ZZ and Black Alpha and Marcel for having that panel discussion at that Black History Month live stream that they did yesterday. As many of y'all know, I was supposed to be a part of that yesterday, but there's a reason why I unfortunately was not on that panel. And before I go any further, shout out to Denise for the $20 super chat. She is showing support for all you do, Torian. You're my favorite. I appreciate it, and I thank you. So it's a reason why I wasn't on there yesterday. So I decided to upgrade, I guess you could say, my equipment a little bit, and that's where y'all super chats and all of that stuff coming, because I was able to get myself a new desk as well as another monitor. Because one thing I've always wanted to say is I wanted to have a dual monitor streaming type of deal. Well, I actually had to end up getting a adapter because the one that I have in the back of my computer is not compatible. So I had to get an adapter. So I'm still single monitoring it right now until that adapter comes in tomorrow, and it will be good to go. But that was the least of my worries. So I put everything together, you know, the desk, the mount for the monitors and all of that good stuff. And then, you know, Afro had called me, and, you know, because it was getting closer to that time for the stream to start, and he was asking, you know, pretty much wondering where I was at. I said I was upgrading my equipment, but I'll be in a few minutes. Well, that few minutes turned into me not coming on altogether, because what ended up happening is the soundboard or the sound card for my microphone that I always use ended up short-circuiting. So I could not use that microphone pretty much right now because of that. And I was scrambling trying to find another microphone. Otherwise, I would have been doing this live stream today via my laptop. So if my voice sounds a little bit different than usual, that's because I'm using a different mic. I'm not entirely sure how my voice sounds because I just started using this mic today. As a matter of fact, this is the most I've spoken into this mic since I got it today. So I had to basically, I stayed up to almost 6 a.m, literally trying to figure out what was going on. And shout out to Versatile Legacy. I call him my tech, because he was trying to help me out, but he couldn't figure out what was going on. But really what it boiled down to is that the sound card where my microphone that I was using, which was the Shure SM7B, short-circuited, and it was really nothing I could do. It was no amount of drivers I could have downloaded that would have fixed it. I would have just have to get a whole new sound card, but I said I'm not about to do that. So I just got me a USB mic. And this one actually is pretty damn good. So, and it is way less than that Shure. I'll tell you that. Anybody who knows about them Shure products know they are not cheap. They are not cheap at all. But that's fine because they're worth it. So even if I was able to come up on the panel last night, I couldn't because no one would hear me because there was no sound coming out. I would have been muted the whole entire time. It would have been pointless for me to come up. So I got the new microphone today. My adapters come in tomorrow. I can use both monitors, and then we'll definitely be good to go. So that's why I wasn't able to come up on that live stream last night. So if anybody was looking for me and didn't know what the situation was, then that was the thing. Travis, where it says, "Do you use phantom power?" That's what I had turned. That's what I had turned on. See, what happened was when I was readjusting everything, because I had the desk I had to like rearrange some stuff, so I had to unplug everything. And when I plugged that back in, I was like, "Wait a minute, what happened?" It just like short circuited, and that's probably where it came from. But I didn't know, but that's what ended up happening. But yeah, that's what I did use. I did use phantom power. 48V, as a matter of fact. That's what the number was. But you know, it is what it is. Can't cry over spilled milk. And besides, at the end of the day, this desk that I got, this new microphone, this new monitor, and those adapters that's coming in tomorrow are all being written off on the taxes next year. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win for me. Spidey says, does Sony make mics? I'm almost certain that they do. I'm almost certain that Sony probably does make microphones. You would have to look that up, though. But I'm sure they do. B1 to you, DC Precise. But yeah, I said, let me just go back to the old faithful. Let me go back to the USB mics. Just plug it right on in, and the computer instantly picks it up. Because see, the thing is with the Shure, because I had to use a sound card, you know, you have to download drivers and install different things so it could actually work properly. With this, you just plug it right in and go. There's no downloading of any drivers, no software to install. It's pretty simple, and it still gives good quality. But in case y'all were wondering, the microphone that I did get is called the HyperX Quadcast. And I'm sure many of you have seen this mic before. It illuminates those colors, but mine is just a solid red color. And that's perfect because red happens to be my favorite color. So that's the explanation right there. I don't know if Afro is going to pop in at any time during the stream, or he might catch the playback. But that's the reason why. But I really couldn't explain to him what the issue was because I didn't want him to move away from the show he was doing. So if push comes to shove, I might just actually contact him probably most likely after the stream is over and explain to him what the situation was. But with that being said, let me go ahead now and get into these stories. So let me go ahead and share my screen right quick. And the first story we're going to talk about is an unfortunate one, and that is the passing of Eric Mays. If y'all didn't know, Eric Mays was a very outspoken councilman for the city of Flint in Michigan. He was a no-nonsense type of guy. He made sure that he was definitely for his people, and he was checking people every chance he got. As a matter of fact, I believe Tariq had played a compilation video of Eric Mays' quote-unquote greatest hits, where he was basically checking a whole bunch of people, and he didn't care who you were, but if you was PC, oh, he really went in on you. He didn't care about your feelings. He didn't get man or woman. He was checking. He was making them women cry up in there. But definitely shout out to him. I forgot how I got exposed to him, but I think it was probably him like checking one of them. And the thing is, he was able to do that without having to cuss them out. Like he didn't have to like, you know, speak ill about them or anything like that. It's just that they was out of line. He was going to check them, and that's exactly what he did. So definitely RIP to Eric Mays. I think the most recent thing I saw is that they're making like funeral arrangements for him right now. So they're about to properly bury him, you know. And I always said we need more outspoken people like this. Ones that's not afraid to go against the grain. He definitely wasn't one of those go along to get along type of people. And I guess people thought because of the way of he pushed himself out there or the way he spoke that people thought he was ignorant, because you know always know when a black man raises his voice even slightly, even though he's not raising his voice, that means that he's just being belligerent, he's being ignorant. No, this guy just was very passionate about his cause. So definitely RIP to Eric Mays, one of the few politicians. Notice I didn't call him a politician, but one of the few politicians, black ones anyways, that was solid. And we don't get the opportunity to say that about many of them. And those are the facts. So let's move on now to the next story. And now we're actually going to get into the actual stories itself. So this one more so is an update. and that's involving Daryl George. Now, for some odd reason, when I typed in Daryl George into the Google search, the most recent story, which is the one I'm going to talk about, was nowhere to be found. Like, I literally was trying to find everything. Like, the last story they posted up was probably right when they was getting ready to go to trial, or right around the time the trial began, but not the outcome of it. But if you don't know or unaware, but should be aware of, Daryl George was the is the teenager down in Texas who got so much flack because of his hair. You know, he has locks, and they basically tried to say that his hair violated the dress code, which is crazy. They basically said that your hair can't, if you're a boy, your hair can't be past a certain length, but he always had his hair up. As you can see right here, this is the type of style he always had it up. That's what he compromised with, which isn't, you know, it isn't wrong. You know, it is what it is. But they still felt that they had to torment him. And honestly, I truly believe the reason why they decided to torment this boy is because he was very intelligent. He's very smart. He made very good grades, had a good GPA and all of that good stuff, but they had to find a way to try to hinder his progress, and went as far as something so minuscule as his hair. And the most recent outcome is that he lost his trial. Like, in the trial, his side ended up losing their case, which of course now his parents are going to appeal this decision, which I wholeheartedly do. So much for the Crown Act. And what's so crazy is you had, believe it or not, you had a lot of other Black people who were actually in support of this decision, basically saying, well, if it was my son, I would have made him cut it. Or if it was my kid, you know, so good for him, like good for them and everything. I'm like, are y'all really serious right now? Like, y'all, let me just put this into perspective for Black people who think like that. Today, it's the hair. Tomorrow, it's something else, and it could be something that you like. Keep this in mind. It's not about the hair. Because let's be real here. How many white boys have we seen go to these schools with hair that's like rivaling a woman's hair, like women's hair? Let's talk about the hairstyle of some of these mass shooters be coming up in them schools, committing all those shootings, looking like they just rolled out the goddamn bed. Look like they ain't washed their face. They look like they ain't washed their ass or none of that, but they had enough time to go pick up a gun and start spraying people just because. Like I said, they will find anything to attack a Black person with if they can't get them for what they want to get them for. So what they couldn't get him on his intelligence, so let's just go after his hair. And this was a long ongoing thing. And the thing is, he's not the first person. If y'all remember, in the same state of Texas, they tried to get this other Black boy for the locks, and he graduated and he was getting ready to graduate as valedictorian. Are y'all seeing the pattern here? I hope y'all are understanding what I'm telling you. I believe his story went viral, and he ended up on Ellen or something like that, and she gave him a scholarship of some sort. So when this popped up, I thought it was the same boy. But then I realized they said he's in high school, and the other boy graduated. So, oh, this is another kid that they're doing this to. I need Black people to really understand what is really going on here. It's not about the hair. It's more deeper than that. And that's why it also kills me when you have a lot of these buck dancers out here trying to say, oh, white supremacy isn't real, or racism is not existent anymore. You just need to stop being, and they love to use the bastardized version of woke. You need to just stop being so woke. No, you need to wake up. Such as those clowns at that Black Conservative Federation, whatever, where Trump was sitting there embarrassing them right to their face, and all they could do was just chuckle like the court jesters that they are. I've seen this happen with little kids, boys and girls. I've seen it happen with, of course, with women, and now you see that it's happening to Black boys. Remember, it's a cyclical thing. What touches one of us will eventually touch us all. Because remember, at one point, it was mainly them going after, Black women with the natural hair thing. But a lot of Black men didn't think it would touch them because, they typically see Black men, clean shaven, low cut and everything like that. But what about the Black man or the Black male that does not have that? or does not want that, then let's go and attack them with that too. And it's a historical thing as well. This is not something that just started to happen. This is something that's been happening. It's really a jealousy and envy thing. So hopefully him and his family and his team can win that appeal. And we'll see what happens with that. But let's move on now to the next story. Now, this story hits close to home for me. And I'm going to tell you right now, if this was me in this situation, oh, all hell would have been raised. So you have this black man named John Cheeks out of DC who played the Powerball and apparently got all of his numbers, in which he was supposed to win $340 million. However, they came back and said, by the way, don't get too excited. Don't quit your job. But you didn't win a damn thing. Now, had that been me, and I saw all those numbers pop up and they matched mine, and they came back and told me that shit, people would have been disappearing. So let's go ahead and read more into this. When John Cheeks saw that the winning lottery numbers on the DC Lottery website matched his ticket in January 2023, he initially didn't know what to think. The prize amount was for a whopping $340 million. I didn't shout or scream, Cheeks told NPR. I just called my longtime friend. That friend advised me to take a picture of the numbers on the screen, which matched the combination of Cheeks' family birth dates and other digits. However, the ticket was repeatedly denied when Cheeks tried to redeem the prize. He was eventually told by the DC Office of Lottery and Gaming that the numbers posted online were a mistake. Bullshit. First off, if that is true, who the hell do y'all got working down there where you post up these lottery numbers and those were a mistake? You don't do that. You are supposed to post up the numbers that are current. That, man, they bullshit. They are lying their ass off. They're going to have to come better than that. As a result, Cheeks is suing several groups that run Powerball in Washington, D.C. That just answered your question right there, Donna. According to court documents, Cheeks has requested $340 million in compensation along with damages and interest. Tayati Enterprises, a lottery contractor and a defendant in the suit, said it quote unquote accidentally posted the wrong numbers as part of a quality assurance test. The mistake was not removed from the website until 3 days after the posting. They must think they're stupid. They must think we're stupid. So this so-called accident, this so-called mistake was left up on your website for 3 days. And ironically, you took it down 3 days later. Okay. If you say so. The group say that the numbers Cheeks saw online did not match the numbers drawn in the televised lottery drawing on January 7th, adding that the numbers online could not have been the numbers drawn because the incorrect numbers were posted online the day before the drawing. Tayati also pointed to a disclaimer on the lottery website that the site is not the quote-unquote final authority for the drawing. It sounds to me like they're just making shit up as they go along. Cheeks' attorney Richard W. Evans said in an email to NPR that the lawsuit raises critical questions about the integrity and accountability of lottery operations and the safeguards, or lack thereof, against the type of errors that the Powerball and the DC Lottery admit occurred in this case. He said that the lawsuit is not merely about numbers on a website, but also about the reliability of institutions that promise life-changing opportunities while heavily profiting in the process. Evans argued that there is a precedent for this case. A similar incident happened in Iowa in November when lottery contractors posted the wrong number, citing a quote-unquote human reporting error. In that instance, ticket holders with the wrong numbers were able to cash in on prizes ranging from $4 to $200 before lottery officials posted the correct ones. Powerball has weekly drawings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. The overall odds of winning a grand prize is 1 in 292 million. You know we have to create a fairness in the game. A win is a win, said Cheeks. I'm just a customer who purchased those tickets, that's all. Representatives for Powerball, the Multi-State Lottery Association, and Tayati Enterprises, all defendants in the lawsuit, either did not respond for comment or declined to comment. The preliminary hearing in this case is scheduled for Friday, which has, of course, already happened because this was posted last week. That is some bullshit. But it's also another reason why a lot of people don't like playing the lottery any damn way. Because I knew I heard of a story similar to this before, and they posted it right there in the chat. Now, isn't it interesting? Again, this man, his picture's not up here, but like I said, this man, John Cheeks, is a black man. Now, every time they do a lottery, have y'all always noticed that the demographic always tends to look a certain way? They're either PC or some kind of an Arab person, or maybe a south of the Borderian. But whenever it's a black person, it's always some kind of issue that happens when they win, if they win, and after they win. Every single time. I just want y'all to be very noticeable of that. Because I definitely peeped that a long time ago. They're gonna sit up there and say that these numbers posted was an accident, but you left it up there for 3 days. If something was an accident, you would not leave it up there for 3 days. You would immediately take it down. But I hope he continues to fight for this because he had those numbers. You put the numbers up there, mistake or not, you need to pay this man. Y'all just don't want to pay this man that money. And what they're going to do is they're going to wait for it to expire and then say, oh, the ticket is invalid. I know exactly what kind of game it is because I think that when you win a prize like this, or any lottery prize for that matter, it doesn't matter what the size is, you got like 180 days, I believe, to claim it. So you're talking about roughly about 6 months or something like that. So yeah, they bullshitting. What's going on, Derek? All right, well, let's move on to the next story. Now, I forgot which one of y'all said y'all was waiting to hear this one when I was asking what story y'all wanted. I think it was Denise. This issue with Kelly Rowland. So before I actually play this video, shout out to Nicolesby for actually getting this video that I'm about to show y'all. There was this narrative that went out that Kelly Rowland was being a diva because she was supposed to co-host, I believe it was Today, but she decided to leave the set because her and her team didn't like the way the dressing room was prepared. And that's the narrative that was put out there. But come to a few short moments later, it turns out that was not the case. So I'm going to read this caption that Nicole Z posted up on X. She said, how insanely annoying and disrespectful it must be to continue to be in someone's shadow for years when you have your own life and career. These clowns know that Kelly doesn't want to talk about Beyonce every time she's interviewed, and still and yet they disregard her request and continue to question her anyway. Kelly should only grant interviews to those who respect her guidelines. Kelly Rowland is her own person. Stop with the damn disrespect. I don't blame her if that's why she left the Today set early. So it sounds to me like this was the actual reasoning as to why. So I'm going to play this video. It's about 1 minute and 25 minutes long. Oh, my bad, Denise. You said the Daryl George story. I forgot who in the chat said it was Kelly Rowland. Forgive me, Denise. My bad.
Did actress Kelly Rowland storm out of the Today Show after she was asked questions about Beyonce? Initially, it was reported that Rowland, a former member of Destiny's Child with Beyonce, was upset over a subpar dressing room. Now it's being reported it was questions from Savannah Guthrie about you-know-who that led to the drama.
What do you think about your friend Beyonce? She's like your sister. You guys literally grew up together. She's stepping into country.
So proud of her.
I know, but were you surprised? And what do you think about it?
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
So happy for her.
Looks like Rowland wants to change the subject and talk about her new Netflix movie, Mea Culpa.
She's back a little later this morning, guest hosting with Hoda. How fun is that?
We will see.
Some say hearing this tease pushed her over the edge.
We're going to chat about that. We're going to chat about her music career and what she thinks about Beyonce going country.
Uh-oh, she immediately scowls, then mouths the word no.
I talked to my sources and they said that Actually, Kelly was very upset with Savannah's line of questioning. She normally asks interviewers not to mention Beyonce, otherwise every single interview is going to be about Beyonce. She felt put on the spot, and my sources said that is why she left.
But a source close to the situation told us that she was not upset about the Beyonce questions.
All right, so there you have it right there. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I was in her position, I would be annoyed as well. Because it's like Nicole posted, why do y'all keep trying to make this woman seem like she's in the shadow of another person? Kelly Rowland is her own person. She had a very good singing career. A lot of people don't even remember this, but Kelly Rowland released her solo album before Beyonce did. In case y'all didn't know, Kelly Rowland had a whole solo album that came out in 2002, a whole year before Beyonce did her solo album. And it was a pretty good album too. I think it was I think maybe about a year and a half ago, I just sat down and just like, I don't know, it was so random. I said, let me go and listen to this whole album. And I said, wow. I don't know why Kelly didn't just continue doing this type of music. And I truly believe that if they ever do a biopic on Donna Summer, they need to cast Kelly Rowland to play her. I am going to stand 10 toes down on that one. That would be perfect casting, especially since she's actually done disco dance type of music before in the past, and it actually sounds pretty good. So I think she would be able to carry that role. But back to this story. No one wants to live in the shadow of anybody, especially if you're your own person. Like, that would annoy anyone. And you can tell by her facial expression that she was clearly annoyed. And it has nothing to do, with Beyonce's success. And she's very happy for her. I mean, they've known each other since they were kids. They performed together. They've become famous together and all of that good stuff. But at the end of the day, these are two grown women who have gone their own ways as far as career path. I mean, well, if you want to call it that. No need to always bring her up. And see, the reason why they do that, in my opinion, is because they know that they cannot get an interview with Beyonce. So they ask people close to her about her as if they're going to relay a message, or as if Beyonce's watching the interview to see, maybe she's watching, or maybe Kelly will go and relay this message for me. Like as if she's some kind of male person. Yeah, Kelly is very talented. Kelly is very talented. I've actually seen this woman sing live. And let me tell you something. If she got the push, if she had a machine behind her like Beyonce did or does, she might actually rival her. And yes, she still looks very good. I couldn't even look at her in this picture and tell she was 43. And this is Kelly Rowland with makeup on. I've seen Kelly Rowland without makeup on, and she looks even younger. So I can get and understand why she would probably feel upset about that, because anybody would. Because it's like, we're not here to talk about her. We're here to talk about me. They said she was promoting a movie, and I'm going to be quite honest with you. No slight to Kelly Rowland, but from what I've heard, I heard that movie was bad. And again, this is no slight against Kelly Rowland. It's more so against the person who made it, Tyler Perry. But, again, should they make that Donna Summer movie? She needs to be casted. Point blank, period. I don't want to see, like, if they make a Donna Summer movie and they cast anybody else but Kelly Rowland, I promise you, I probably won't even watch it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So that takes care of that story right there. Next up, we're going to be talking about Chris Brown. So in case y'all are unaware, and I had to go back a little bit for this one, because again, last week I didn't do a live stream in this setting, because of course it was Freestyle Friday. Otherwise I would have talked about this last week. So that's why I'm bringing it to y'all 2 weeks later. So by this time y'all already are aware of what's going on. So Chris Brown says that he was uninvited from the NBA All-Star game. Now, Chris Brown has played in the NBA All-Star celebrity game, what I mean, for a couple of years, for a few years. And this was even after the whole situation, and I'm gonna just call it the situation because I don't even want to feel like saying the person's name, but y'all know what I mean when I say the situation. And so when I heard about this, I said, what the hell? Like, what changed? I mean, it's not like he hasn't played before. And apparently, according to him, he got uninvited literally probably like the day before the game was supposed to be set to happen. So I believe the celebrity game was that Friday. So that means I think he got uninvited that Thursday. Imagine he's probably already there. And you have your site set to play, and then all of a sudden they say, by the way, Mr. Brown, we're not allowing you to play for this and that reason. I don't even know what the reasonings are, but I can just about guess. Now, apparently, the sponsor of this game was Ruffles, as in Ruffles potato chips. And they were the ones that uninvited him, not the NBA, but the sponsor itself. And whatever I told y'all, the sponsors, the ones that come with the bag, and then whatever the sponsor wants, the sponsor's going to get. So say the NBA, say Adam Silver went against it, Ruffles would have pulled out of their funding and probably would have sued him. But what's even more crazy about this situation is that after he got uninvited from playing in the game, they said, well, we know you can't play in the game, but we offer you these tickets to sit courtside. What? So you want me, you uninvited me to play in this game at the last minute, and then you want me to come and sit courtside at the same game that you uninvited me from. That's a slap in the face and an insult. And I'm glad he didn't go. It's like, how long are they actually going to hold this against him? I mean, this man has pretty much kept his nose clean for a while now. When's the last time we really heard Chris Brown in some controversy? It's been a while. This guy will drop a song here and there, and he'll go quiet again. I think, as a matter of fact, the last time I saw him, which was right after this happened, he was somewhere touring overseas, like in Europe or something like that. And what it really boils down to is that, and I think someone just said it in the chat, is they can't break him. They try to, and they're still trying to, but they can't. With all the stuff that he's gone through over the years, since that incident, they still can't break this man. This man is the same age as me. As a matter of fact, Chris Brown's birthday is the day after mine. His birthday is May 5th, and we are the same age, born the same year. What they're mad at is that this guy still has a fan base. He still has fans from when they were teenagers, just like him, even younger, that they're adults just like him now, and he still probably even has a newer fan base, and they can't stand it. Yes, well, Janesta, he's about to turn 35. He's about to turn 35. Remember when he was supposed to do that that Michael Jackson tribute at the AMAs, what was it, last year? And they canceled that. So what did he do? He put the rehearsal, basically was the rehearsal online. It was supposed to be him and Sierra. And they out of the blue just canceled it. Literally, like the day before they was set to perform. Imagine how devastating it had to be, not only to him and to her, but also all those people that work so hard, especially with him being a huge Michael Jackson fan and a reason why he's performing today. He's always credited Michael Jackson as a huge inspiration on his entire career. And for them to just cut that says something. And it's also like, it's almost like a double-edged sword because, one, you know, they always play Michael Jackson like he was a controversial figure anyway, one of the most talented, if not the most talented entertainer in the world, even in death. And then they do this to him, Chris Brown, as well. Coincidence? I think not. The Dr. Carvey said, the May the 4th be with you. Hey, I predate International Star Wars Day. Let that be known. Every time that comes around and people say, May the 4th be with you, and it's my birthday, I just be looking at them with the side eye like, I predate it. I mean, the Star Wars franchise definitely predates me, but I predate International Star Wars Day. That came much, much, much later. But yeah, they like I said, it's no coincidence that this stuff continues to happen. But you know what? I'm glad that he's still out here thriving, doing his thing with no worries. He probably could care less, but it was just a concern that he brought up, and it was an issue nonetheless. But I'm sure, of course, he's moved on from that, and he's going back to doing his thing. He's a father now to two little girls, and I think that's what he needed to keep him grounded, was him to become a father. And people were worried about that because, oh my God, Chris Brown is the father now, and he has two little girls. Uh-oh. And they always, and because of what happened with Rihanna, yeah, I didn't say her name. They were probably putting stuff out there worrying about, oh, I hope he's not abusing them. I have not heard any reports about this man abusing his kids. As far as I'm concerned, he is a very providing father. Every time I see pictures or videos of them, his daughters are always smiling from ear to ear. They look like they're in a very stable condition. And a lot of the people that's saying all this stuff about them right now probably aren't stable themselves. But let me move on now to the next story, y'all. And believe it or not, everybody, we are almost at the end of the stream. We only got one more story after this, believe it or not. Like I told you, this was not going to be a long stream. Man, listen. PC is something else, y'all. They are something else. So Google AI is or was in trouble because PC got so upset that they were trying to find AI images of white people themselves in an AI generator. And when they would type these names in or these descriptions into the AI, it brought up images of black people. And you should have seen how mad so many of them got. If y'all follow me on X, and shout out to DSB for the $5 super sticker. If y'all follow me on X, I actually posted up a video from Tim Pool. I didn't watch it because I could care less to watch it, about how he said, is Google being anti-white or is Google being racist? About a couple days later, Elon Musk posted up something very similar. It wasn't a video, but it was just a post on X saying something very similar. And then everybody else started to chime in, and it was just basically an avalanche after that. I find it so interestingly funny and hilarious how the same group of people who created the social construct of race in order for them to benefit from it for so long, for many, many years, at the degradation of us mainly, turns right around now and then says, at one point, says racism doesn't exist. Oh, I don't see color and this, that, and the third. Now it's anti-white. Now it's racist. Now we are being replaced. Isn't it amazing how that table turns? Let's read this article right quick. Google is pausing the ability of its AI chatbot Gemini to generate images of people after a slew of historically inaccurate and racially diverse creations, such as images of black Nazi soldiers and a black medieval British king, went viral and led some to say the company was racist against white people. And my thing is this: black people should be mad at the fact that they even had an AI generated image of black people being Nazis. But notice they said it's being racist against them. It's all about them. We're already working to address recent issues with Gemini's image generation feature, Google said in a statement on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Thursday this morning. You know what I find to be even more interesting now? Is that the name of this platform is now called X, but you still got to type in twitter.com to go to the website. So which is it? It's like, how do you, like, this thing been called X for a while now, and it's still, you still have to type in Twitter to get to the website that's called X. While we do this, we're going to pause the image generation of people and we'll re-release an improved version soon. The company initially addressed the controversy, which caused wide outrage among the quote-unquote anti-woke crowd on Wednesday, and said it was taking immediate actions to fix the issues. In a statement, Google said that while Gemini's ability to generate diverse images of people was generally a good thing, a nod to the challenges AI image generators have had at creating images of people of color, Gemini was quote-unquote missing the mark here. Gizmodo confirmed that Gemini's ability to generate images has been disabled in some regions, such as Europe. Oh, the jokes write themselves. On Thursday morning, The Verge was still able to generate images with Gemini using a US VPN. When asked to recreate, for example, an image of a Nazi-era German soldier, the chatbot declined. I can't create images yet, so I'm not able to help you with that, Gemini replied. However, that doesn't seem to be the boilerplate response. I've also tried to ask Gemini to recreate a historically accurate depiction of a medieval British king, a prompt that generated images of Black and Indigenous people on Wednesday. In this case, Gemini said that while it couldn't directly create images, it could certainly guide you towards creating a historically accurate image of a medieval British king by providing information on descriptions of kings based on historical accounts and information on types of clothing and hairstyles among details. To all the people that's complaining about this, I would like to know, what did they type in to the description box to get that image that they received? That's what I'd like to know, because I noticed that all the people that's complaining and mad about this, we don't know what they typed into those description boxes in order for these images to come up. Because I do know this. When I have used an AI generated image before, as a matter of fact, I did. If y'all remember, when I did the video about what happened in Alabama, or the stream I did about Alabama last year, that thumbnail is an AI generated thumbnail. That wasn't a Photoshop that I created like I usually do. I just typed in Black Warriors, Avengers style, so on and so forth, and every last imagery that came up, including that one, everyone there was Black. It wasn't not one PC person or South of the Borderian or Asian in any of those images. So I would like to know, what did they type in to get those images, because something seems off here. And shout out to Black Logic for the $20 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure y'all subscribe to that brother's channel if you haven't done so already. He says, great info, brother B1. Thank you, and B1 to you. So I'm just curious, what did they type in? Notably, though, Gemini added that it was important to consider artistic freedom when it came to creating images, which is one of the things that got it into trouble in the first place. Remember, historical accuracy is important, but artistic freedom can also add depth and interest to your image, Gemini said. So it was crazy because you had PC out here saying how much they're going to boycott Google. I said, y'all are lying through your teeth. Y'all said y'all going to boycott Google today, and y'all will be right on YouTube tomorrow. Probably not even tomorrow, probably in the next hour. I'm sure if you look up a laundry list of the things Google owns, they are using one of them. They're just not going to google.com. Just like when people say they're going to boycott Disney. I said, y'all are lying. I said, do y'all know how much stuff Disney owns? You don't have to go to Disneyland or Disney World or have a subscription with Disney Plus or watch the Disney Channel. There are stuff that Disney owns that doesn't have the title of Disney in it, such as ESPN, Hulu, and Marvel. And we know people are consumers of all three of those things. So I just thought this was actually funny. To me, I thought this was hilarious. When I first learned about it, I said, y'all the same ones that claim y'all don't see color, but y'all saw color with this. And clearly you had to see color because y'all was typing in certain keywords. I know one of them words had to be white. Is white not a color? Man, oh man. Exactly, Denise, ABC. But let's move on to the last story. Now, this story right here, I wouldn't be surprised if many of y'all did not hear about it, because it didn't gain that much traction. But man, when I first saw this video, and I saw the raw video because somebody actually sent it to me, my jaw hit the floor, and I was getting ready to clock into work when I saw this, and I couldn't get the imagery out of my head. But let me go ahead and play this news clip for y'all.
This is just moments after Monte Henderson left the courthouse Tuesday morning. He's been out on bond after being charged with manslaughter, accused of killing 2 women from Chicago in town for the Drake concert. This week, video of the incident surfaced on social media. Five on Your Side has decided not to show the moment of impact, but the video leading up to the crash shows the car speed toward the women in the intersection. Prosecutors say Henderson was going at least 70 miles per hour when he raced through a red light. Family members of the victims, Leticia Bracero and her daughter Alyssa Cordova, say the video is difficult to watch. In court Tuesday, prosecutors read a statement on behalf of those family members, and they asked for justice and said Henderson used his vehicle that night as a weapon. Meanwhile, the attorney for the suspect, Scott Rosenblum, is also upset. He believes the video's release could be an issue with jury selection.
Not thrilled that the tape was released. I'd like to get to the bottom of that. I don't understand why and how it got released into the general public this time. I mean, obviously the family wasn't happy with it. It apparently went viral. I don't know, but it has an effect on everybody.
Initially, a judge released Henderson on a $20,000 cash bond, but he didn't have any restrictions. Now, after Tuesday's court appearance, he must wear a GPS monitor, surrender his license, and can only leave his house for medical or court appointments.
All right, so y'all just heard that story right there. And like I said, what is this? Let me get off of that. And like I said, when I saw the video, now the person who sent me the video, I saw the raw footage, like not the part where they stopped the video in this news clip, but I actually saw where his truck ran these 2 women over. And when I saw that, my jaw hit the floor. I was speechless. I mean, literally, he hit them so hard, they came out of their shoes, and whatever they were carrying just kind of sprawled out over the road. Like they literally got swept underneath his truck. He was going that fast, and like DSB said, I don't think it looked like he was going way faster than 70 miles an hour. He did look like he had to be doing close to, or at least at 100. He was going and driving that fast. I've never seen something like that before. And we don't know if this dude was under the influence of something, whether it was alcohol or some kind of a narcotic, to be going that fast. Like, what made you think that was a smart thing to do, to drive that fast in that type of section? It's not like he was on a highway. He was in a very enclosed space. Imagine going and traveling to Chicago to go to a Drake concert. Y'all have a time of your life, and y'all can't wait to go back and tell your friends and family how the concert was, and now you won't be able to. But that is crazy, and it's not lost on me, y'all. It is not lost on any of us who just watched this. Can see obviously and clearly that the person who did it is a black man. You had PC Online that was so upset about this man being released on a $20,000 bond rather than those women losing their lives in the way that they did. Like him being released was their biggest concern. Like I said, I was so speechless by what I had saw that I didn't even read the part about him being released on the bond. And I hope they throw the book at him. And honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I believe they completely and utterly undercharged him. ZZ asked and said, "Is that an FBA black man?" Well, let me put it out there like this. I'm not sure, but his name is Monte Henderson. That is his name. So I guess like you'll have to go off of that, but I'm not entirely sure. And one thing that gets me is when you have PC loves to claim that we as black people don't like to hold our own accountable, when clearly they are some of the poster children for that. Here I am. Now, while I'm not a lawmaker of any kind, so I can't make the final call of what the decision should be when it comes to him. But all I can say is this. They heavily undercharged him. He should be locked up right now. He shouldn't even be out at all. I don't care if they did give him a GPS monitor until his court date, and they should throw the book at him. Because there is no excuse you can tell me in the world for what y'all just saw transpire in that video, even though it cut off right before he hit him. Or hit them, I should say. So hopefully, whatever jail sentence he receives, that it fits the crime. Because with those charges, they're kind of weak to me. But y'all, that is going to conclude this week's live stream. I told y'all it was going to be a short one. We got it in under an hour. So definitely shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to DSB and Black Logic for contributing to the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Tomorrow, y'all will be getting the 11 a.m. video, which will be about Candace Owens disrespecting female pilots. Y'all can only imagine what she said and what I have to say about the nonsense she said too. And of course, the poll for this upcoming week's videos will go up at 8 a.m. on Sunday. As y'all already know, I think many of y'all are used to the routine by now. So y'all will be seeing a new crop of videos coming up, and y'all will decide the direction of those videos. Shout out to everybody that came through today. Shout out to all the people in the chat, the members, the people on Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Discord. With that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be safe and be one.